and congratulations on the grant.
All right, this is the 20th of September, 2022, and this is our general community meeting, which we cover just general topics that we are working on. I'll cover the outreach, and Simon's not here, and Steve will take on the architecture. We are busy with outreach. We have some presentations coming up. I'm doing 2 at DevOps World. I'm doing 1 at API Microservices World. And Steve is doing 1 at Open Source, All Things Open. So that's a pretty busy schedule. And then I have submitted a talk for. Then we have Brad at QCon. Oh, that's right. Brad is. You're on mute, Steve. And we have Brad. Brad's going to be doing a presentation. Yeah, you can hear him through my microphone, which is this tiny little microphone I have sitting on my desk. And then Brad McCoy is going to be doing a talk at KubeCon. So we have some pretty good representation. And then I've submitted to do something with DevOps.com. They do their big show at the end of the year in November, and I'm sure I will get invited to do that. And I got invited to host Tech Strong Women, so I'll be hosting Tech Strong Women for DevOps.com. What was the other thing? Oh, we've invited Sasha, and Arvin is going to do the October 5th. Get ready for Hacktoberfest, tips for contributors. They did a kind of a pre-show for us Monday. It was awesome. They've done some great work. We're going to put a blog together and make that part of our Hacktoberfest pull request. I've also got a blog out there for Hacktoberfest. Let me pull it up really quick and share it. So here's our 2022 Hacktoberfest blog, and we have created a list of good first issues. So, and there is a tag for good first issues. There's a whole list of documentation issues, and then we have a couple of things around GitOps, some coding things that are a little deeper around the service catalog and the front-end updates. A couple of things around the website, which would be great if you've ever updated the website. These are fairly easy ones. Blog instructions on blogging would be a good one, probably for someone to do. Training videos, the one that Sasha just did will be one that we can include for first-time users. So he's well into getting that done. And then we've got a couple of things that we're going to start with blockchain. So we are ready to go for Hacktoberfest. I have turned this blog over to the CDF, and it will be put on their blog as well. So their blog will refer to, or the Ortelius project, which will refer to this blog. And that's all I have. I mean, it's been, we're trying to, and there's 2, there is a survey going around that Steve put together for finding out who wants to be involved in blockchain. So if you're interested in becoming part of the blockchain team, be sure you fill out that survey. We don't necessarily know exactly how the money is going to be distributed, but we will be able to pay some of you who want to have a deeper commitment to getting that blockchain project off the ground. And that is all I have.
On the CDF meetups, what do we have going on there?
So we have.
Don't we have like Fatih this week?
Yeah. So this week on Thursday we have Meet Fatih, who's the new. Let me just go to the CD Foundation online. Let's see if I can see him that way. I don't know why it should go like that.
So if you can join that one, it's good to know the folks that are kind of steering the ship for the CDF Foundation. So go ahead and sign up for that one. would be great.
And so the way I had structured this is Bati's going to talk about the different projects and how you can get involved. And then we'll follow it up. It was timely with Sasha and Arvind. And I don't have a third one. I'm hoping that for November, we can do the Persia project.
Yeah, I could get that figured out. What's the date on Meet Fate or the time?
12 o'clock Mountain.
On
Thursday. Just Thursday. So here, let me put this in the chat, and if you join that, if you join it, you'll get all of the notifications for it. That's the easiest way to do it. And we're going to have to do some changes in times. I almost feel like we should run some of these at least one a quarter for people in Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, definitely. I think that would be a big plus if we did even so for Karam and Arvin, I don't know if Arvin's on. What's typically a good time for your area for when people are free? Is it like 9 o'clock in the evening or later or earlier? What's the culture there?
So generally, like people get off work, like depending on like which industry you're working on. So basically, if you're catering to say US based clients for in IT industry, then it's basically people start working at 11 in the morning, and it can extend till 9 or 10. But like for people who are working generally in the normal Indian shift, it's basically around 10 till 8, it wraps up. So like 9 is perfectly fine.
9, okay.
9 sounds good. I believe it's working great till now.
And so that's like 9 o'clock our time in the morning, right? Close to
9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah. And then it makes it a weird time for anybody in Australia. So that's why I'm saying maybe we're going to have to do a few at a weird hour for them. I almost feel like we should do this one twice, to be quite honest. But maybe if we record it, we can just get it out. We can make sure it gets out to them. And that's what's most important. And all these are recorded and are all hosted through the CDF YouTube account. So we'll be able to social network this. And we will do a Ortelius one. I'm thinking we should probably do an Ortelius one in January or February. If we do Persia, will probably be in November. We generally don't do one in December because it's way too quiet. And then January tends to be hard to get people back going. So February is a good time to really get them started again. And I think we should do one in February. And the one that we would want to do in February would be an introduction to the Ortelius blockchain for immutable SBOMs. So it would be good for us to have made some progress on the project. So we can take it. I mean, certainly Utkarsh has already got some stuff that he's worked on, that Stephen Utkarsh have worked on that we used to get the grant. But I think it needs to be farther down the road when we do a presentation on it. But any topics you guys want to talk about, since really the Ortelius, they've given, I'm the organizer as the Ortelius community leader. So any topic that we want to do, we can, we can do this. So come up with topics and I'm happy to get it posted. And it would be good to make sure the topics are broad. I'd like to get Brad to do his Captain Ortelius topic on CD events, because I think that people are starting to hear it. He's done it more and more. And sometimes you tell people the same thing over and over and over, it finally sinks in. So it might be a good one to get him to do. And then we could do that on his time zone, which means India would have to see it on video recorded. Steve, do you want to talk anything else about?
Yeah, go ahead, Arvin.
Can we do hands-on session this time?
Can we do what this time?
Hands-on session.
A hands-on session he's talking about.
You're right. I'm trying to think. that kind of leads into the blockchain piece. So like Tracy said, the survey was sent out, and what we're going to do is I will reach out to the folks that responded for the different pieces. And with the blockchain, we're going to need to do more sessions. So basically a meeting almost every day to keep things moving along. So we'll have a lot more meetings to make sure we're moving along at a good pace for the blockchain piece. So I think what will end up happening is based on that, we may do some co-coding as part of that to make sure everybody understands what's happening at that level. And we'll have to, when we do that, we'll have to figure out times and things like that that work for the folks to have those meetings and stuff.
So we've got 4 people so far who have expressed in terms of the responses. Let me see if it
I
shows.
can't remember if I was on there.
You're not
I have
on
also
there.
sent in my.
Am I not on there?
Did you fill out the form?
That's what I can't remember,
Oh, Tracy, drop the link in the chat.
because I really want to be on there because I don't know anything about blockchain.
Arvin, did you not get it?
Ah, here it is. I found it.
I sent my response.
Weird. Why does it say I only have 4 responses?
I'm filling mine in right now.
I have Arvin. I sent it to you directly to make sure you get it. Oh, there's Sime. Hey, Sime.
Tracy, so can you tell me the first for the issues for the Oktoberfest? Because I have so many students, around about 60 students. Them are teaching a course at the university for the DevOps. But blockchain is new to us, but some of the students from the AI as well. So there are 7, 8 people. So they might interested in joining the Oktoberfest. But I need to know the good first issue because that's the best way we can plan ahead from them.
Okay, and we got you covered on that. So I just shared that in the chat. So here's a list of good first issues, and I just shared you the blog. And I've started to push this out. So we've got some good first issues out there. Some of them are documentation, some of them are testing, but there's some coding fixes.
And Tracy, do you have the link to the survey form? I'll just drop it in Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that real quick here. How do I do that? Send via a link, copy. Chat. There you go.
All right.
And we'll probably need to put that in the, do we have a document up yet? We don't.
Yeah, we have. I've been updating it.
Did you
Put the link back in.
Put it in the chat and then put the link for the survey in.
Yep.
I have the survey running through this month. I think the middle of October is when I had the survey end. So I'll send it out again just to make sure everybody knows that it's out there. And I'm not sure why I didn't get Arvind. Well, now I have Arvind. So now we got 6 responses.
Yeah, mine's in.
And Simon, this survey is for individuals who are interested in working specifically on the blockchain project.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. As you sent it the email last, I think a week ago. So I already shared with the student as well. But
Okay.
actually they wanted to, because I'm waiting for the good first issue. Now I have those, I will share with them. So you tomorrow will see a lot of the responses there.
Okay. And if they want to, I mean, this project may be a little heavier. I think the Hacktoberfest stuff will be, the stuff that we have in the Hacktoberfest is best for first-time programmers. some of this may be a little heavy for a student, but please, if they're interested, put them on the list, have them
Yes, I think
respond.
these students are for the third years of in the university. So they're 7th semester students. They're doing the FYP, so they are interested in it because that's their part of the FYP project as well. So they're actually interested in making those.
And what
So I will like to engage. Go ahead, Steve.
what languages have they learned so far, being third year? Do they know?
Yes, absolutely. You call Node.js.
Correct.
Yes, Node.js is already taught in the university. They are everybody familiar with. Apart from the Node.js, they knew Python, and some of the work. Some people are also know about Kubeflow in the Kubernetes space for the machine learning part.
Right. Oh, speaking of that, did you hear that, who was it? Facebook? No.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook
Meta.
is creating a new foundation called PyTorch as part of the Linux Foundation. And PyTorch is equivalent to TensorFlow.
But it's specifically around, it's better, they claim it's better for people who are coding in Python.
Around the ML AI pieces. So check out PyTorch.
Yes,
The other
absolutely.
thing, the Linux Foundation just did was they started it's called the something wallet foundation, the Open Wallet Foundation, the Open Wallet Foundation. And what they're looking for are open source tools that help with building blockchains. So Steve and I, when I was actually kind of surprised when we went to that conference by the lack of tooling around blockchain, just like we've sent Utkarsh off to see if he can figure out how to search an NFT. Right? Something simple as that. How do you search a blockchain, basically? So there's the Linux Foundation, I think, is seeing that gap and is looking to build it.
Yes, that's a good news for me. And like I'm teaching DevOps, so there are actually multiple areas of students. Some of them from the AI, because we are teaching a course, they are graduating as a CS in AI, in machine learning and AI. So they have more interest. Yes, they have more interest in that area. So these are basically 10 students. So I think from part of the 10, might be 5, 6 are interested in doing this part because they are because they know already this kind of stuff as well. For others, this stuff is new.
Yeah, and in the survey that it will ask what you're interested in, if you're interested in like the architecture and design, if you're interested in coding, and DevOps is one of them, because we'll have to build out DevOps for Ortelius itself around the solution. So we're going to be covering from development all the way through production on this. And I think in the long term, we'll probably want to take our Azure Kubernetes cluster. And right now we just have like a sandbox playground for Ortelius. Once we start getting the blockchain out, that we'll actually start running a production environment where we can start, keeping track of open source projects and where they're being built, where they're being sent to, that type of component information that we'll need to run a production environment.
Yeah, because we want to start building adoption, and we'll do that by starting to pull in these open source projects. And to Simon's point, Arvind, if you have, some of your friends at university who are interested, this would be a good time to bring them on. And bring on some women. We need some female programmers. It would be awesome. I have reached out to Women Who Code to see if we can't bring on some of those women, because some of those women have left the workforce. They were programs, they left the workforce to have families, and then they're struggling to get back in because, 5 years later, everything changes. So I feel like in terms of a general community problem we have is more women involved.
And DevOps engineers. I'll teach them. No problem.
I will ask them in my college and also will post it in the Twitter.
That would be
Perfect.
awesome.
So we're not restricted to women in any particular geography?
We're not.
Okay. Are you putting up something on LinkedIn that I can then repost?
Sure. Yeah, about this topic, I can do that. Yes.
Yeah, because I've got a reasonable network, so can give it a go.
Okay. We have them and they seem to fade out on us. They
Well, I
just
was
have
hoping
other
this is-
responsibilities, kids,
Yeah,
sometimes
rough,
aging
yeah.
parents.
I was
Either
hoping
that
those two
or
ladies
we're
from
just-
Nigeria would stay on.
or we're just really
Ah.
boring.
Yeah, that's probably it.
So Sasha, just so you know, our two ladies from Nigeria actually, the last I heard that they had both gotten jobs and they were pretty focused
Oh,
on
that's-
their jobs. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. that
Okay,
they're
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Wow, that's great news.
And then the last time I
Ooh.
spoke briefly with Zaniba, I think was her name. She's indicated
Yeah.
that they were both working.
That's such good news. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that.
And one had actually gotten a job before she finished our project.
Wow, awesome.
Hey, Ukarsh, we've used your name a few times.
All the issues are assigned to you.
Oh, a lot of work.
And Utkarsh, I want to
Anything
make sure
important that I should know?
we've sent a survey out for individuals who want to work on the blockchain, and your name's not on there. I was wondering if it was something that you wanted to work on.
Yeah, sure.
So let me put this in the chat again.
I
here.
got it.
Okay.
And in that survey, feel free to, if you want to be involved in everything, you can check every single box.
I did. I checked every box.
There you go.
It's totally fine.
It's a totally
I
awesome
also
project, man. It's
did
so
that.
amazing. It's like, wow.
And everybody's homework from last week from the architecture meeting was to go out and do research around searching NFTs. So an NFT basically is an immutable payload. In our case, it happens to be JSON. And instead of referencing that by like a file name, you reference it by a hash. So it gets pretty obscure when you go to look for something. So there's a couple projects out there, but if you could poke around and throw what you find into the dev Discord channel around how we can search that JSON data in the NFT.
I think I need to find a
Okay,
demo
cool.
app for the dev setup.
Yeah, well, and that will, we will need to extend out your dev setup, Sasha, for the NFTs and the blockchain. Because there's some, Ukarsh, there's some like dev URLs that we hit for both, right?
Yeah, so like if you're working locally, we should have like IP pistol or something locally running. So there are like packages, they are just packages so you can run CLI commands.
Cool.
I also know a person who is a developer advocate and works with Web3 and DevOps. You can
Perfect.
talk to him. Yeah, I post his Twitter handle in the chat.
Yeah, so Web3 is the next evolution of your browser that is supposed to have blockchain built into it, or the concept of blockchain built into it. Right now, it is pretty early on in the design, and basically it's just adding some additional features to Web 2. So it's not fully functioning yet, but it's making strides. That's another one to read up on is Web 3 to understand the general concepts that you're trying to get to.
Web 3. Add that on.
And Joseph, if there's anybody that you know from the University of Ghana who might benefit and be interested in working on this blockchain project, please pull them in. Would be great to have more people from there.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes it's hard, you know, there are some areas of the globe that are underrepresented when it comes to open source.
Yeah.
South Africa is. Sasha's
pulled one
holding the
guy in.
torch for that.
I am. I spoke to a guy at the gym the other day. I said, "You must come join us. I'm the only South African. We need more African people here."
It's true. There are just some places that are underrepresented. I would say that definitely Ghana is, but a good portion of the whole African continent tends to be underrepresented, as do the Latin areas. So we have Sergio on our board, and he's super active, but we still are underserved by those areas. And I've always wanted to grow that, and having more interesting projects may be a way to do that. And there's some really amazing programmers in Latin America that we're just not taking. They just don't get any love in the open source world. We don't see them.
Oh, here's a nice one.
All right, anything else?
Yes, I have one thing. Like Tracy, I need a banner from the next podcast. Can I share the detail with you? Or
Yes, do send them to me. I'll get that out to you immediately.
Yes, absolutely. I was just sending you the email afterward.
Yep. I was just going to ask you about where we were with the podcast. And you know what we can do too to build the podcast is anything that we do for the CD events, we can turn it into a podcast and post it. We'll have to find out if the CD Foundation's okay with that, but that's another way to do it. But yeah, let's get some more of these podcasts going.
Yes, I talked with the CDF, but I think they're very slowly on this process because I've initiated the process of doing the CDF podcast, but it hasn't been started yet.
No, I don't know what they're going to do with them.
Yes, so their process of getting more side. Like we have a Bavy account on the CDF side. Do we use that for the monthly webinars on the Ortelius side? Because if we have that place, we have to utilize it. Like the CDF provided us the Bavy platform, the webinars or these kind of stuff. The last time you set it up.
Well, right now, that we're supposed to be using it. Are you talking about just for a platform for doing them?
Yeah, last time, like we have set it up account to the Bavy platform on the CDF.
I know, and I asked them if I don't know what they're doing with Bevy right now. They have me doing it just through my own webinar account and Meetup and Zoom.
Last time I spoke to them, they said we are using the same analogy in the CNCF. The CNCF.
I know. And then I asked for them to set me up a Bevy, put me in as an administrator for Bevy so I could set up these things. And they were like, we're having trouble with Bevy. We don't want to use it. The CDF didn't want to use it. They were like, can you just do it on your own right now until we get it figured out? And I was like, okay. And I think part of it, Bevy, so when you record things in Zoom, you can record tracks. And they're starting to use the track recording. And I don't think you can do that in Bevy. So you can't record, let's take this. I could set it up where Joseph, me, every single frame has its own recording, and then you can publish it in a way you want. And I don't think you can do that in Bevy. So I think that they're getting some pushback. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. But we're not doing it in Bevy for the moment.
No, Bevy is a wonderful platform. I arranged 32 webinars on Cloud Native Islamabad, and you can do these kind of stuff like they're capturing and recording the every person's skill. If even there are 10% from that, because CNCF provided.
I don't know why.
It's a wonderful.
I'll bug them about it because I would prefer not to have to use our webinar account.
It could be just the way the CDF has it configured.
And I'll reach out to Roxanne and Fatih and find out, when we're going to be able to just use Bevy directly to do everything, because it would be great. I have no problem with that. Ortelius has a Bevy account, so we can do everything we need to for Ortelius. They just don't have it for CDF online meetups.
Yes, I think during KubeCon time, if we not set it up, we can arrange one workshop on my Cloud at Salamba YouTube channel for Ortelius, because I wanted them this KubeCon to be outrage for part of it, because on that channel, on that YouTube channel, I have not a Ortelius webinar. So that
Well,
is
we can
missed.
do it. We have it all set up for Ortelius.
Yes, absolutely.
So we can use it for Ortelius. I'm just not using it. They've asked me not to use it right now for CDF online meetups.
So Tracy, we
because-
got to jump. We got to go to a meeting with Red Hat.
Oh, yes, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't dried my hair yet. Oh, no. All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll chat
Thanks.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.